What's going on, great people? In this video, we're going to be recapping my experience of a 15-day water fast with no food. All right, we'll be talking about how I felt and what I experienced mentally, physically, and spiritually. And we'll be throwing some of the emotions because it was tied into everything as well. So without further ado, let's get to it. Damn! All right, so before we get started, I want to give you all some context of why I did a 15-day fast. I've been getting this question a lot. So my purpose for doing a 15-day water fast was because it is the next installment of my ultimate goal of a 40-day water fast. I know I can't complete a 40-day water fast now, but I do believe I can accomplish a 20-day now because I was able to complete my 15-day fast. These are just substantial extended fasts to help build my confidence to prepare for my ultimate goal. All right, that was my goal this year, to knock out a 40-day fast, but I'm pushing that goal over to next year. All right. Also, I've already completed a 3, a 5, a 7, and a 9-day fast, which was my first attempt at a 15-day fast. And I also fast once a week. And if you want to know how to learn how to fast or bring fasting into your life, how it can improve the quality of your life in a multitude of areas, check out my free PDF of a fasting guide. All right, to get your first day done. So we're gonna start off with what everybody likes to know: physical. How did my life change physically? What did I experience from a physical standpoint? All right. And so I'm gonna go through the key moments, like from days 1 to the very end, all right, in each section. So physically, I started off at 219.7 pounds. When I left the US, before we came back to Panama City, Panama, I weighed myself in that night. I was 219.7 pounds. All right, we flew the next morning. That day, I started the intermittent fasting. So I already started getting my body in the process to start releasing this waste because I wanted to fast as soon as I got back. I get back, we get settled, I intermittent fast, I have 2 meals a day, but I drink a lot of water, just flushing. And then the Tuesday morning, the following day, I got on the scale. I think I had already lost about 4 or 5 pounds. So I'm like, cool, starting out pretty good. Overall, I lost a total of 26 pounds. All right, 26.4 pounds. But this was from when we first left the U.S. All right, I was 19.7 pounds. I ended off at a final weight of 193.3 pounds. All right. So start my fast. Physically, the beginning of any fast for me, extended fast up to 3 to 5 days, is a breeze. I don't think about it. I'm not concerned. I'm highly energetic. I'm still active. I work out. I get a lot of things done and accomplished. So it was gravy, right? But I was constantly dropping weight. By the time I got to day 4 this time, something I experienced that I also experienced in my first attempt on day 8. So your body, you defecate, gets rid of the stuff in your system, and by day 4, you know, I had this unbearable bubble in my gut. And like, you know, when you have the BGs, you gotta go or it's coming, you know? So I had the BGs and I was like, this is a little bit too early. This should have happened around day 8. And so I was holding it, trying to get to the bathroom, and like, man, like that defecation of just like, it's like a flush, a water flush of pulling things off the side of your intestines, is like clearing out the gunk. Now I was surprised that this happened so soon because on day 8, on my first attempt, that's when I realized this would actually happen. I thought the first, second day you defecate, now your system's clear because you're not consuming any food. This time, on my first attempt of the 15-day fast, day 8, I had that sensation and had to run to the bathroom because I was outside. And this time it happened 4 days earlier. So I was a little bit concerned and worried because I was like, if this is happening now, I'm like cleaning out the system. So fast forward to day 8, I feel fine. Day 8 was great. I had a ball of energy. I was so like excited to move around. I taught class that day. I was getting back with the students in the class, the fitness class. It was great energy, great vibes. I went for a run. I was still lifting weights in the first week as well. Felt great. Physically, I had dropped from, now I was sitting at about 202, right? I went from 19.7 and I'm sitting at 202. Day 9 kicks off. Average day. I wasn't in a good mood that day. Days 9, 10, 11, and 12, I wasn't in much of a good mood. I was lethargic, a little tired, but it wasn't because of the fast. Only on day 10 I felt fatigued. I didn't want to be bothered. Felt weak, and that was because I didn't supplement myself with the proper electrolytes. I didn't drink a lot of water that day and kind of was a couch potato, right? And I didn't get any sun that day. But that was the only day I felt like crap. I didn't want to do much of anything. But I walked and stretched days 10 throughout the end. Day 14, I started getting my energy back. I was hyped. I was excited. And I believe my physical had a lot to do with because of my mental, because it was so close to the end. I just wanted to get done. And so I was agitated, just wanted to be done. So the only rough side of it was the days 10 was the worst, and days 12 through 11, 12, 13, I just was just ready to be done. So physically, I didn't want to do nothing, but I did walk a lot. And when I walked, I felt energized, felt great. So, but I just wasn't not in a physically exciting mood, I would say. All right, so that's what we got physically. The day after the fast, day 16, that morning, because I broke my fast at midnight on day 16, had some soup. And the soup was amazing, man. The texture, the taste, the food was so flavorful. It was like a burst of excitement. You feel me? Because I've had a bland mouth for so long, right? So I just was so excited to have food, and my body adapted pretty fine. I didn't have any aches or anything like that, because you have to break your fast, an extended fast, with the proper foods. You can't go straight into your old way of eating. This will upset your stomach. This also could increase your insulin levels to shoot up to the sky, cause heart arrhythmia, and everything. Your electrolytes become out of balance when you go back to rushing those foods. A lot of people go wrong with their fast, especially water fasting. When they do extended fast, they enter into refeeding syndrome. And that's what I was talking about when I said the blood sugar shoots up, your insulin spikes up, and then now your electrolytes are out of balance. You know, your potassium, your magnesium, your phosphates, you're all out of whack. And so this will cause you to get weak, cramps, dizziness, fainting, and like I said, heart arrhythmia. You don't want to have that after you done got all this success from fasting. So when you're breaking your fast, please be aware and have a proper plan of how to reintroduce food into your system to wake up your digestive system. So I had soup that night. The next morning, after the fast, I weighed in and was 0.3 pounds lighter. I was 193 flat. I don't know why. I was 193 flat. Maybe my stomach was working overnight. I didn't lose much muscle mass. I had got a lot of questions. Will I become frail and real thin and lose my muscle by extended fasting? And I try to tell people all the time, from the internal physical standpoint, your body is going to retain and hold on to the muscle because your HGH levels, your human growth hormones, shoots up while you're extended fasting. It's protecting your lean muscle. You're not going to lose your muscle. It's going to protect that lean muscle and eat away the fat around it. Your body is producing ketones. That's why the mind and the body starts to work in a different way of repairing itself. You are regenerating your organs, your skin cells, all the health of your mitochondria. Like, you're repairing yourself to be whole again, giving your digestive system a break, which we never give it a break, and it gets to relax, it gets to chill, right? And so I knew my body was healing, and even though I dropped a total of 26 pounds, I was still able to have a very lean look, very cut look, right? I mean, body was shredded, is shredded right now. And right now I'm sitting it's my second day off the fast, and I'm sitting at 195. And so the goal is to build back up to 215 by the start of the year, properly, 1.5 pound of muscle a week, right? But I have to get back to my regimen. So in about 3 weeks, I'll start that. But right now I'm just getting my activity back up, getting back acclimated, right? So that's what happened, everything physically. From a physical standpoint, internally and externally. I got to give y'all some type of information that you can take with for yourself. Autophagy. Autophagy is also a process where your body reuses damaged cells in the body, gets rid of all that cellular debris in your body, use it up as energy. It's no longer sitting around, and that's why our cells repair themselves, and you become better, stronger. Healing process smooths up faster, right? That's what went on physically. All right, champ. Okay, let's start to dive in some of the things that really was the most interesting things for me, the mental part of this fast. Like I said, the reason for the fast is to reach my ultimate goal, that 40-day fast. And that stems from wanting to expand on my awareness and consciousness of my spirituality, my communication with God, you know. And so it's been a mental challenge to get myself to the state where I'm at. And so the mental has been second most beneficial from fasting. When we fast, your body uses those ketones that I was talking about, and it also helps you kind of clear your consciousness. The brain fog. If you had suffered from brain fog and you have an improper diet, this is going to help unclog that. This is going to help you see clearly, right? You know, so the mental clarity, the peace, the serenity. So mentally, going into it, I was excited. I was geeked up. I was so disappointed that I didn't complete the first attempt with the fast, my first attempt at it. And by day 3 or 4, I was aware why I really didn't finish the first attempt. Kiki and I closed on our apartment the day I had a really bad day in the market. And emotionally, I was a little kind of shaken, discouraged, a little down. And so us getting the apartment was like the highlight of the day. And I said, you know what, hey, how about you wanted to celebrate when we get to the place? How about we just celebrate this weekend? I'll just break my fast earlier and I'll just reattempt when we come back, because I'm like, yo, this is something big. I don't want to miss out on this. But during my fast this go around on this attempt, I was aware of that the only reason I broke that fast on the first attempt, which I could have accomplished it, is because I was emotionally down. I was depressed. So I needed something to pick me up. And the first outlet was like, I just want to eat. Because when we consume food, that relationship with food, it helps us, give us comfort. Whether it be snacks, healthy home cooked meal, eating out, fast food, it gives us some type of comfort when we're down, when our emotions are rocky, right? We just want to consume. And I've been learning that throughout this process of fasting. And so when I made that connection that I gave up on a goal because I was down because I had a bad day, and I used a pivotal moment in our relationship, because us getting our place in Central America for the next year on the moment we're about to have a son, you know, I used that moment to kind of sway me into eating, you know, and I knew she wouldn't mind it at all. And I didn't think that way when I made the decision, but reflecting on it now as I've been fasting, I'm like, wow, that made some real mental connection, some clarity right there. After I discovered that, I went into this fast more determined to be consistent through. Hey, your awareness is about to peak, so pay attention to what you see. You haven't been hearing God's voice clearly lately because your mind's been rattled. You're all over the place. You're stressing, you're worried, like you have all this false evidence appearing real and you accepting it. You got to understand that this fear is not something real that can do you anything, because nothing's happening right now. It's all up here. And so by day 8 was a very intense time. The last attempt at this 15-day fast, day 8 was a pivotal moment. I had so much insight of understanding what life is. How I saw in that moment that none of this is real, that none of this can't be real. Like this is all made up in our head, right? And I was telling Kiki all this, and she was looking at me crazy. But when I think about it now, what I experienced when I was in the States, this time, day 8 showed me this is real. What you have is real. Your relationship is real. The love for your family, your friends, your clients, the strangers that you meet, that is real. You know, your son is real. Like how you think about him, what you care about in life, what you strive for, all of this is real. Don't neglect what's on this realm because you know there's more, right? You're here for a reason, so enjoy and appreciate this right now. And day 8, I was sitting on our balcony and I just had these visions, you know? And I was like, God showed me how my balcony should look, and I saw how that I was actually leveled up from a place that I was stuck at for so long. And I would call this place my sacral chakra. I was stuck there for so long trying to evolve and elevate, and sitting out there on the balcony as I'm talking about the fast and we sitting appreciating, I'm looking around like, wow, this image looks very familiar. it looks like something I dreamt of. It looked like something I thought of, something I fantasized about. Like I'm starting to get that feeling like I'm in it. And when you daydream and fasting, when you're daydreaming, you have these visuals, this fantasy. And so like, man, when I'm in that moment, I started getting sensations of being in that moment. And I was like, yo, like, God just kept showing me things, and I'm starting to understand, like, oh, you went through this for this, right? The clarity of like the pathway needed to be taken this way. So, and I complained a bit, I won't lie, that I couldn't hear God's voice for I'll speak and it'd be silent. That day 8 was a pivotal moment mentally, because the communication was there and it was on point, right? I know I said this is the mental part, but this is how my brain was going. So the mental spiritual part in this area is kind of going to be similar, but we'll dive in on that. Having those visions in that moment and trying to paint the picture of what I see for Kiki, why it has to be green, right? Because I've now arrived in the place where I've been trying to get to, this new level, which I'll call my heart chakra, right? And I was attached to like all this yellow and orange for like years, like my favorite color to wear, stuff and whatnot. I had an orange wall in one of my apartments in Dallas, like yellow accessories. And now I kept seeing green. I was like, oh snap, I'm here. And as you can see, I have a green shirt. I've been having green all around. We have a green wall. It was mentally the clarity, like, oh snap, I'm now in the space I've been trying to get to. So all this is about to be new. Start adapting to what this is, understanding, being appreciative of this. Have more gratitude for every day of life. Every time I step outside, look in the balcony, appreciate it. Be thankful for it. Being in such a great state of gratitude. Day 8, like I said, I also taught a class that day. The energy, I could feel the energy bouncing off the people in the classroom. Like it was feeding me. I was so energized that day. And I could tell when I was speaking, pouring in them in a way with my energy, and feeding them just big good vibes and a great workout. And I came home, I walked home that night, and I was in a state of bliss. I was walking around shooting out love missiles at people, and it was green missiles I was shooting out, because I was like, oh, I felt so good. I was walking, and I was like, you get some love, you get some love, you get some love. And I caught myself walking with like this swag walk, and I'm like, I had to like, oh snap, like pull it together, bro. Like people gonna think you out here high or something. And so that experience just had me in such a high state of bliss, of like mental clarity, of understanding everything that I've been seeing, everything I've been receiving has been needed. It's been necessary for me to be here right now, and all that connection. So fast forward. Whenever you fast, you get the states of bliss, appreciation, gratitude, clarity. Now, you can't have a positive without a negative. So I also experienced the downer side of my mental on days, I guess day 10 was a bad day. Was not feeling it. Mentally, I had the brain fog. It wasn't brain fog, it was laziness. It was pity. That's what it was. It was pity. It wasn't brain fog at all. It was pity, self-pity. Didn't do much that day, right? 11, I was shaking back, still wasn't in a good mood. Mentally, I was in a good headspace because I walked outside. So I was in a good headspace, but I can tell mentally I wasn't at my peak that I was experiencing. We sat outside on day 12 or 13, and mentally I was like, well, I understood that you can't always be living on the high. You have to appreciate your highs more by experiencing your lows. So when we're upset and sad and disappointed, we have to be thankful for those moments. You have to give gratitude in your times of disappointment and times of failure and your times of despair, because it's so needed, because it makes you really appreciate when you walk into the moment of the success, when you walk into the moment of eternal bliss, when you walk in a moment of just great energy surrounding you and the love pouring on you. You appreciate it so much more because you've experienced the opposite. We take things for granted so easily when we have it in surplus, when it's in excess. We can't get enough of it. We just give it. I broke my sugar addiction and had a great body while I had a sugar addiction because I didn't appreciate the work ethic that I was doing. I just was saying, hey, I'm gonna look good, but I can eat whatever I want. But the discipline that comes with fasting makes you appreciate your willpower to say no. There's two things you cannot live without: food and water. You can live on with water way longer than you can without food. So just replenishing my body, hydrating my body, putting some sugar-free electrolytes in to help me stay afloat from the cramps and everything, right? But stayed in ketosis, autophagy was peaking. I knew my HGH was going. My mindset was on 10 because I looked so good. I can't lie. Mentally, I'm like, yo, I'm a physical specimen of perfection. Mentally, I felt like the boy from the boys. I felt like Highlander from The Boys. He has a scene where he's really like, I'm better. Like, fasting had me in the mindset like that because the discipline that I know so many lack, I was achieving it. And this was something big for me. I pride myself on being a disciplined person. And this was something that was challenging that discipline, especially since I failed the first attempt. I was seeing all this the night on days 12 and 13 and understanding and accepting that reality that, hey, yeah, it sucked right now. You don't want to fast right now. You want to break, but you're not going to break because you failed before, and you knew why you failed, because you had self-pity. And you ain't no bitch, so come on, let's get it done. So I fought through it, and I was proud of myself because I just kept going outside every day. I kept going outside. I was like, well, I got to do this. I got to stay focused. And the hard part of the mental came in with the relationship. Now, when you're fasting and someone else is eating, you would think it'd be difficult. It was quite easy for me. I've adapted to her just preparing food. I would just meditate. And the meditation helped a great deal during the mental part of this 15-day fast because it gave me time to talk to my inner self, talk to God, God within me, strengthening myself up. And with the relationship, the connection was not there. We had such a disconnect, and I can sense it. And I know she could as well. She's very good with energy. Mentally, I was at a place where I could not come down from. Like I say, Highlander, I'm better. Not better than her, but my thought process was in a state of anyone that speak on low vibrational energy, I can't allow myself to lower my energy frequency and engage in it. So we did a call with Coco, and on the call, Coco pointed out after I told her what's been happening, she said, yeah, bravo, I see what Kiki going through. like, we talking, you just like, they're like, you not engaged. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm fully engaged. But my energy tells me not to speak when things of gossip, things of like, they weren't even gossiping. They were talking about somebody throwing some shade, right? And so, I guess that is gossip. And I said that my energy told me, quiet, time to be silent. And when we talk about something that you're excited about, something that's breakthrough, something that you're trying to accomplish, something that you're trying to manifest, something that you want to see evolve, then you speak. And so I explained that to them. And so our relationship, great. Like, we have an amazing life, right? But there was definitely a disconnect from us. And I kept reminding her, hey, I'm coming back. I'm coming back soon. I want you to know that I'm aware of that we ain't on the same page. Just understand that I'm somewhere else right now. Mentally, I'm elsewhere. And I'm understanding what all of this is. Everything that I'm feeling, things that you may be feeling. She's 8 months pregnant. You feel me? So almost 8 months pregnant. We got like 9 weeks. So she's pregnant, and I'm like, this could be big on her, you know? And she may feel alone while I'm off into my conscious world trying to build myself up to this being that I'm working towards, right? She had to understand that. And so I commend her for going through those 15 days with me, because I know for sure days 7 on out had to have been difficult for her. Probably until I started breaking down my understanding of what was happening. And so mentally, I was rooting for her, you know, and I was like, hey, be aware, help out, do this. But it was real hard for me to come down to certain conversations. If it wasn't about progression, if it wasn't about a goal, it wasn't about gratitude, if it wasn't about being thankful for just seeing these walls that are ours now, like the doctor's appointment, it needed to be positive. It couldn't be nothing with a low energy, nothing with negativity, nothing with, we sometimes get excited about something, but then we look at the negative point that's in it, that's in the good. Sometimes we do that as people, and it's just habit. I do it as well. And so I would catch all of that when people would speak around me. So I was silent a lot throughout my fast. And I also had a death in the family. So mentally that was bothering me because he died from a health condition. And that was also was added on to my stress and crappy mood during days 10 through 13. All right. We got through the mental struggle towards the end with the relationship because days 14, I was like, it's silent. I don't hear nothing. It's like I understand. I think I've reached my peak of this fast on day 8. So I was kind of in limbo, like just ready for it to be done mentally towards the end. And day 14 is like the mental skyrocketed. And I understood that you had to experience that because I have to show you why you shouldn't take for granted the mental clarity that I've given you, that you've achieved. And so when you walk away from this fast, you do not forget the greatness that is your life, the wonders that I've put in play for you that you to enjoy. You give appreciation every day on down days, up days, mid days, no matter what kind of day. You got to give thanks and appreciation all day, every day. Because I've shown you that you have arrived where you've been trying to get to. You've made the goal, set a larger goal. You're living in it. Now, progress and move forward. So I should not be mentally having any downer days because I'm aware of what is. Your awareness when you go through fasting is one of the most beneficial things that you can ever experience, because when you're aware of something, you become more appreciative of it. You become more cautious as well of what not to do, right? Or how to move. So day 15, finish it off. The energy everywhere was good, right? Energy everywhere was good. I was excited that day. I had a class that day. I was hyped up. I was just counting down. I didn't want to do nothing because I couldn't even get work done. I was excited that I was going to be able to consume food again. I was excited and ready to go, right? Just counting down the hours on social media. Mentally, I felt so accomplished. The biggest compliment I received during this fast was how people admired my discipline. I pride myself on being a disciplined person. To see that I was receiving admiration for a goal of mine and something that people were interested in knowing about was a great deal to me, right? Like, I'm like, man, I accomplished this goal. It built my confidence up so much. And confidence is everything. And it built my confidence that on the end of the night, before I had my soup at midnight, I told Kiki, man, I think I could do another 5 days. But my message during this fast was to enjoy, appreciate, experience right now. So my 20-day fast, I'm going to start up on January 2nd and then finish it before my birthday. That's what I saw. So now I have time to just relax, enjoy. I had that soup mentally. It was amazing. And every sensation that came with it was like a roller coaster. I loved it. The day after was an amazing day. We had a great day. I was in such appreciation to consume food. I had an omelet that day. It was delicious. It was so good. The texture of the vegetables, the softness of the eggs, it was great. And I was aware of how my body was taking in the food. I was slowly bringing in more solids. So we went out and kicked it at the pool, and a guy, Gilly, I met him on the strip during the fast. Great energy, and we were supposed to hang out, but we didn't end up hanging out until the fast was over. And I got to meet his dad. And his dad and I had a conversation. His dad said something to me at the end of the evening. He was like, man, you did that fast so you can meet me. And that stuck with me because mentally, like I talk about awareness, I was aware of like how good Gilly's energy was. And when he had a relationship with his dad, something that I didn't have that type of relationship with my pops, right? So my dad didn't raise me. So for me, I was like, I admire just seeing him and his pops, their energy together, and he's just like his dad. His dad did an amazing job with him. And I'm like, man, I'm about to have a son, and Gilly has a son. So I'm like, put that energy in my son. And so my awareness talking to his pops, and his pops was a beast at manifest. He was telling me so many stories about the things he accomplished and how he manifested and how he spoke it. And so when I was telling my story about the fast and what I was experiencing, and how we manifested our son with our 5-day fast and the 7-day fast. And like he was feeding into it. And I was like, yo, this is my type of people right here. Because that energy of like being in a place where someone matches your energy, and it's like just not one person, it's like the whole aura around, right? It's like, man, that's power right there. So mentally I felt like Magneto. I thought I could move anything. I had the energy in my head, the mentality of like everything, all things are possible, right? And they have an amazing view. We kicked it over there for hours. So the day after the fast, mentally was on a high. You can definitely be on a fasting high. And I experienced a fasting high day 8, parts of day 9, day 14 and 15, day 16, the post-fasting high, I would call it. It was just a breakthrough. Mentally, I'm stronger. I'm more confident, I'm more determined, I'm more consistent. I just committed to the entirety of this ultimate goal of 40 days. It made me more inspired to even get closer. I'm inspired to get to the 20-day mark, but right now I have to enjoy. So mentally, and then I'll say today, this is 2 days after the fast, today wasn't the type of day I thought it would have been, right? But I'm appreciative because yesterday was such a high. So today I said, I got to make this video, and I got to experience the opposite of the high I had yesterday. But I'm still having a great day because I'm so appreciative. When I look outside, I'm giving gratitude. I'm thankful for even be sharing this right now. So to be in a position to do it in my crib in Central America, I'm like, hey, be thankful and appreciative. So mentally, I got to have a state of gratitude so my mindset is always in a state of bliss. Even in my moments of sadness or disappointment, discouragement, I have to be optimistic because optimism is what's going to carry me through because it all works out for us at the end of the day anyway. You are meant to win. You have to win. You only lose because you choose to lose by accepting some type of failure or disappointment, accepting the idea that you can't get it done. But overall, you are meant to get it done. It's happening so you can experience both ends of it, the up and the down. Not only will you appreciate the great, but you'll appreciate the low because you earned it. Right? So mentally, fasting is the shit. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to dive into my experience from a spiritual point of view. All right. So a lot of stuff I'm about to say right now is going to be from visions I had, voices I've heard, inner voices I've heard, however you want to explain it, and thoughts that came to me. Right? And my belief of knowing that these thoughts were not of me, but a conversation I'm having with God. If you're a believer, great. If you're not, that's great too. But whatever you do, communicate with yourself, whatever it is, like, jam, this is that. So, spiritual standpoint, I knew going into this fast, I was going to be tested in a way. I thought my breakthrough was going to be day 10 because I got so close from the previous attempt that, okay, day 8 going to probably be a good day. I had such a monumental day 8 in the first attempt. So spiritually, I wasn't expecting anything but mental clarity, looking good, good energy, and see what happens day 8. Day 8 rolls around. Like I said, day 8 was an amazing day. Great energy, great vibes, just great intensity all around. The love bomb shooting around, right? In that vision where I talked about I was in a place for so long and I leveled up from my sacral chakra to my heart chakra and how I was so attached to these colors for years, right? I was sitting there and I was just thinking about how great I felt how thankful I was. And in the moment of me giving so much gratitude and appreciation for what I was experiencing and feeling and understanding, I started seeing these visions, right? I started seeing that you've arrived, you're here. And I think that was the day when I picked coconuts. Right? I went and picked coconuts for Kiki that day. And in the vision, it was showing me, I've been putting you in the presence of all this energy so you can come right now to realize I've presented you with what you asked for. And I was like, really? So green on out, we're gonna have a green light coming from our balcony that's gonna shoot love and energy out into the neighborhood, out into the city of Panama. And that love is gonna be returned back to us, to magnify us, right? And I was like, whoa, I gotta go find a green light to put on this balcony. And so God was like, you gotta do, you know what to do now. So come to me when you've completed this, right, this task. And God would make it hard because it's not a light bulb, it's LED lights out there. So I have to find a green film, so I have a task to get done. And so I found that pretty funny because my life, God has played an amazing game to keep me interested in the process of life, to keep me in tune with leveling up, evolving, working towards a goal. And so it was a very emotional and inspiring, enlightening evening to communicate in a way of knowing like, hey, you're here now. Like, I told you I was gonna get you here. You didn't know I was gonna get you here. You didn't know how you was gonna get here. But look, you just woke up and you're in it. You had doubts, you had fears, you had concerns all throughout the year. But now, look at what you see. This is your reality. This is why I told you everything that you have is real. Treat it as real. Love it as real. Because when you're experiencing it, it is real. And so all that came to me, and I'm sitting there, and we just going, like, Kiki's sitting there, and I'm talking to her, I'm also not talking to her, if you get me. So she's communicating with me, and she's feeling it, and I could, like, she understands me when I'm on these journeys that sometimes I'm not there. And so she just listened, she was like feed with it, and then God, I would just share with her what God was showing me, what I was hearing, what I was being told, and communicating. And seeing our life and what our life is unfolding to, what we've wanted so much we actually have. Those desires we are the living evidence of the things that we ask for. And so I was just at a state of gratitude and just was like, I know my mission. I have to turn this balcony green. It got silent after that. Like I said, the next couple of days 10 through 13, it was like silent. That's why I thought I reached my spiritual peak. I was like, oh man, okay, you came back on day 8. So day 8 of extended fasting may be a pivotal moment for people. I don't know if anybody by the time you got to day 8, if God came to you and gave you some wild revelations or any communications like that. So I was like, cool, I guess I hit my peak. I guess I could break this fast. Well, I was like, I'm not going to break it because pity caused me to break it last time. So when I was going through this time of emptiness where I didn't hear anything, I just was like, let's just get it over with. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. In day 14, like I said, I realized mentally what was happening, that I had experienced the opposite end of the great bliss I was experiencing. And in that moment, day 14, it hit me that, oh, you play such an amazing game. Because you've shown me that I have everything I've always wanted, and I'm getting more of it, the things that outside of what I wanted and I thought I wanted, I'm even getting those things. And so be calm, be relaxed. Like I've always shown you since November, I told you that I will always be there to make sure everything works out. Why do you continue to doubt me? That was something I heard when I fasted in November, when I started this journey of fasting. And so when I had that vision that night, it stuck with me. So it's been my mission to always just trust. The word of the year for us is trust. We had an issue, complication with the baby during the summer, the beginning of the summer. No shit, that was in the beginning of the spring. And my mother, she didn't have a prayer for us. She just said, I just say trust, God, just say trust. And that stuck with me. And it brought me to the vision that I had in November when God said, I've shown you repeatedly that I'm there. Like, how many times do I have to save you? How many times do I have to put you in a situation to show that it's only me that's getting you through it? How many times you gonna doubt me, right? How many times I gotta keep showing you, you don't have to be in these situations, but I have to keep it because you keep doubting. But you know that you don't need to doubt. You speak on not doubting, but there's a part of you that believes, but you kind of know but don't know. And I was like, man, is that true? So I went throughout the beginning of the year going through all these repeated experiences in different forms of fashion. And I was like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm all in. I trust, like, in the stuff with the baby. It was like, I would say, hey, that's a wrap. Like, I can't do nothing but trust now. We spoke a boy, got the boy. Health complications was non-existent. It was like some fluke something. It was crazy. So I said trust, that's just the word. And so day 14, I was just sitting there like, man, you like so good. Like, I just had to give God his props. Because I'm like, man, okay, I experienced the low side of like my spiritual bliss and going through phases of like not hearing anything, but knowing that you're around. I can see your energy in action all around me. When I fast, vision, like everyday life, you can see God's energy in everything. And I'm not lying, like y'all wouldn't know, but because you can't see it, you can't experience what I'm actually going through when I'm doing a fast. But I can see God's energy, like I get real in tune with nature, plants, flowers, colors of the earth. Because I can see God's energy in motion while I'm looking at these objects. And day 14 was a great day spiritually because that's when God's voice woke back up. I wouldn't say woke back up, chose to be made present in the form of a vision, I would say. Because like I said, I see God all day, but sometimes I might not hear God. But day 14, I was listening. We was back chopping it up, you heard me? So I'm listening to what God is showing me and what he's saying to me. And these sayings always come in thoughts, right? But you know when you're having a thought of your own and a thought that's not of your own, right? Because sometimes they come from far left field. And it could be so big that it's almost like, would I really think that? So that's how I know that's not my original thought. That was God's thought that put that seed in my mind, and now I have to germinate on it. And I can't be afraid to water that seed that God planted in my ear. A lot of times, God will plant a seed so big, it could be overwhelming because you're like, oh, no, it's not going to be like that. Nah, nobody's not going to do that for me. No, that's not going to happen. But you don't know the power and the impact that you're making on the people that you're encountering, right? You don't know who's watching you, who's studying you, who's admiring you, who appreciates you, whose life you may be changing. So you don't know who's God's going to use to work things out for you, right? And so when I do a fast, I'd get to that. So day 14 was amazing. Day 15, I was just geeked up that, hey, like it's over. And the whole day I was just like, yo, just giving thanks, appreciation. And God was like, man, you did it. Congratulations. Like your ego is fed because you disciplined enough to get through this. That people admire your discipline. He said your spirit is fed because you are in a state of immense gratitude. You're so appreciative. You can't stop giving thanks every 35 seconds. You're just so thankful for everything that you look at when you blink, you know. And day 15 was great. There was just more of just God just keeps showing like, hey, you've arrived. You're here now. You are in the state of the green aura. So what I want you to do once you come off this fast is that you have to go love, man. You got to go give love. You got to pour into people. You got to love Kiki. You have to love Lobo. Love your mama. I know you want her to be healthier, but just help her along the way. Don't be so hard on her. And I was just just looking at it like, man, if I'm not putting out love, I don't even want to engage in it, you know. So I ask to be, whenever I'm aware of the vibration isn't of love, I'm just going to I know what to do. Just get quiet or just remove myself. And so I have to put that into practice. And when I'm traveling, whenever we get back to traveling, it'll be pretty easy while I'm here. It's when I travel into the States, you encounter so many different energies and different people, old friends, old experiences that come back up, and you have to navigate. Because sometimes people won't know how to perform around you when you've changed, right? And they may have not. Okay, and some people, when they see your change, they may say, man, like, be inspired, or they will just put themselves in another place. It's the frequency can't hold on to a frequency that it won't match with, or at least like feed into. So if the frequency just not matching, like, the universe puts it in different places, and you have to accept that and appreciate that it's happening that way, and get out of your emotions that cause you to make erratic decisions. Get out of those things that keep you focused. When we consuming food, we can easily allow our emotions to make rash decisions. And we can't hear God's voice sometimes because food is the barrier, the blockage between God's voice and our ears. And when we have that barrier and we're building on that barrier because we're consuming so much food, we wonder why we don't hear God's voice, and we wonder why our life is going erratic. And we like, before we know, we wake up and it's like, damn, life is like a fucking tornado. I'm in a twister. How I get out of here? God, help me, please, help me, please. All you have to do is stop, chill, and listen. But it's hard to do that when we just enjoying that good food. Like, the food be so good, I already know y'all be off the chain, man. Goodness gracious, you heard me? But God told me, you have to just come back. When you come from this place, you have to come back down here and just love, bro. I want you to enjoy eating, like, enjoy the flavor of food. Like, I'm in the kitchen with Kiki cooking now. You heard me? I can cook, but I'm in the kitchen with her now. She ain't up in there chopping up chicken wing tips, you feel me, to make some broth from scratch. I'm up in there like we making wings later on the night. And, you know, as I introduce more foods, I'm just thinking about all the stuff that I'm going to get joy and taste. And going out with her and experiencing life with our son, like going shopping for the baby, just like give love into everything, man. And my color theme for the rest of the year is gonna be green. That's what I've been seeing. So I still have my yellows and oranges because I like those colors. But my primary energy for the rest of the year is green, heart chakra, love. You feel me? So that's what I've been shown my mission is, what I'm to do. Hey, if people don't believe it, I don't care, because it's like, yo, I'm the living evidence of what I'm seeing, what I've been told. So, boom. Day 16, fast is over. Spiritually, God led the whole day. It was a day we had to get so much done. We missed the drop-off time for the stroller. Kiki had her aunt's son-in-law in town, wanted to stop by. Was a link up with Gilly at the pool. I had to trade that day, and the AC went out. You heard me? And Kiki forgot to call the lady to get the AC repairman the day before. So all this had to happen in one day, and Kiki was stressing out. She was stressing, and she's like, "How we gonna do all that?" And I'm like, "Just roll with it. Let's roll with it. We just gonna roll with the flow, because I don't know. I'm just gonna roll with it, man. Let's just go. I'm just thankful that, hey, today I get to eat. You feel me? Like, I don't care how nothing else going. It's all good. Why are we stressing? Had breakfast that morning. I went through, like, y'all already know, it was an amazing experience. The food was great. I was just feeling the food that touched my tongue, the texture, the softness of it, the freshness of the ingredients that was in the omelet. You know, it was great. And the avocado was it was firm but fresh. And so my spirit was fed. My spirit was fed because I was so thankful and grateful for that food. And I had a tangerine. Oh my God, it was good. And the grapes, it was so juicy. It was like God's energy was squirting out of the grapes, you heard me? And the tangerines. And it was amazing. It was amazing, man. Like, I was so happy that day. I just kept telling Kiki, man, ain't that tell you that, boo? I was like happy all day. Then I was happy all day. Oh my goodness, I was so happy. And then we go, the AC repairman comes. When he gets there, like, Gilly was supposed to hit us up at 11:30. Like, him hitting us up as the AC repairman comes. Her aunt's son-in-law comes 10 minutes before that. So I'm like, I go down and get the AC repairman. The stroller's down there as well. And I was sitting there like, hey, I see what you're doing. We come upstairs, chopping it up, good conversation with in-laws, not in-laws, but cousin-in-law. So I'm like, cool. He had his friend chopped it up. He on his weight loss journey as well. So I'm just telling him about the fashion. AC guys repairing the AC. He had to run to the store. I'm like, yo, Gilly, once this is done, we gonna pull up. He like, don't trip. Cool. Then AC gets done. They end up leaving, and we have the stroller. I end up putting the stroller together. You heard me? I put the stroller together, and we up there playing with it, thinking about how it's gonna be when Lobo's here, while he was wrapping up with the AC. And I was like, wow, we got all this done. And I didn't want to consume any more food until after 3. I said, let me give my stomach a break, because it was easy going in. I said, let's not overdo it. I think I pushed it today, but like, let's not overdo it. So get everything done and hit up Gilly, like, yo, pull up. So we go over there by Gilly now, and I say, you know what? I'm gonna take God's instructions, because I know God's gonna see if I'm gonna act as if I did before the fast or act as who I am now. And I said, nah, we're not gonna record no content. I was gonna do one of my fast facts, way to get people into fasting, to learn about fasting in a fun, entertaining type of way with Saucy and Bravo, so people kind of get into fasting. That's my goal. So I said, no, we're not gonna do no work. We're about to just enjoy it. We're about to just have fun. We're about to just relax. I said, nah, we ain't do nothing. And that's when I met Gilly's dad. So we chilling. The vibe was great. Soon we got over it. The vibe was on 10. Soon we got in the presence of them. And Gilly was telling him about the fasting. I was talking to him, telling the story, and I can see the connection. He like, oh, this guy knows. He was like, it's like he met one of his own. He was like, oh, he know. I could feel that energy. Like, oh, he know. He know how to manifest. All right, cool. So when we was feeding each other stories back and forth, and he had some amazing stories, and I could see the power he possessed of what he knows, his connection with God, and how he said it's his mother guiding him. Like, that's how his spirit moves. I was like, yo, he's so strong. I admired his manifestation strength, because when I'm listening to his stories and I'm putting the story together as he's telling me before he gets to the ending, because I'm like, oh, I heard him say this, so I know this is what's going to happen. And when I'm telling, it was just hitting it on it, even about him getting the kidney, of how the death of his daughter gave a kidney to another young child, and he needed a kidney, and he got from his daughter or his other daughter as he was at an older age, and she had like amazing fitness, and she had like a super kidney that had like 2 blood vessels on it, and he paired that. He knew he got that kidney, that amazing kidney, because he gave life to another child because his daughter lost her life. And I was like, wow, mind blown. I was like, this dude is legit, right? He like a manifesting OG. So I'm sitting up there like, just like, man, I'm in such bliss. I couldn't sit down. Like, I stood up, I think the first 2 hours, I stood up the whole time. Now they tried to give me a chance. I said, but I can't sit down. I'm hyped right now. I'm around people. I'm connecting with great energy. Like, I got food today, and like I feel the energy of the food that Kiki prepared. It had so much love in the food that she prepared that I'm just full of life. So we're sitting there and just keep going, throwing stories out there and just getting, everybody feel with each other. And they have that energy where you can mess around and be out there till like 2 a.m. talking. And so, but the spirit was there. You could sense God's energy there. And I guess the ladies had got hungry. They ended up ordering food. And I told Kiki, well, okay, we could get something because we wasn't supposed to eat till after 3. It was 6 p.m. And I was like, man, God, on point. I see how you moving. You gave my stomach more time to rest because I was on a schedule that after 3 o'clock, we'd have a snack. I said, God put me in a place of where I was so focused on the energy and the appreciation of God's presence that I had to not even think about food. And so I knew it was time to eat because they presented something. And when I tell y'all the food, God touched this food. We ordered from this restaurant I do not remember. And I ordered a salad. And they had pizza. And I love pizza. I'm not having pizza right now. It's too soon. But we're having pizza next week. It's going to be a healthy pizza. We're going to likely make it ourselves from scratch. I wanted some of that pizza. But I said, no, I'm going to have a salad. My body said, get the salad, get you some veggies, you can introduce some more complex foods to your gut. The salad, what you need. And when we got that salad, God had to have been dancing on top of the salad leaves because I was like, it smelled amazing. And I took that first bite. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, the flavor that burst out in my mouth, on my tongue, I was like, my brain couldn't even process it as fast as it wanted to because it was so amazing. It was so refreshing. I could feel my body. I felt energy, even for breakfast. I felt energy rushing through my body and my arms, powering me up, like I was charging up like a Super Saiyan, you feel me? I felt like Vegeta going ham. And I was just so thankful in that moment, so appreciative in that moment. I let Kiki try the salad. She was like, oh my God, that salad was off the chain. And she said the pizza was good. And it was a zucchini pizza. And she was like, we going out. You know what? We're going to have that pizza, fried pizza next week because I didn't get to try it. So we're going to have that restaurant next week for our pizza and a salad. So we both get a salad and a pizza. So she likes that. So that day after the fast, spiritually, I was just on a post-fasting high, communicating with God and energy at the pool. It was as if we were not a part of the whole because the energy was so dynamic. It was like that bubble. You feel me? That pool area. If anybody walked outside and came out there, they walked into our aura of love. And I thought it was amazing, it was lit. Just thinking about it now makes me excited. And I had a great day today. I had 1 hour of not good, and it's been a great day. So it just gave me more appreciation. And after the day was over, I talked about, the salad and day energy all night. And when I was, like I said, when I was going to the shower, I had this vision, right? For every fast, I present God with an ask of what I want for my sacrifice. I believe fasting is the sacrificial lamb for what you want in life. You cannot expect something for nothing. So I believe, bring your sacrifice, God will give you something. Whether you sacrifice your time, your energy, your resources, your life. You have to sacrifice something. For me, I pride myself on discipline, and I said, how can I get what I want from God? God's going to give me the confidence to get through this 40-day fast by completing these incremental fasts. And when I do these fasts for my reward, this is what I want. And every time I do a fast, I've gotten everything I've wanted, everything I've asked for. When I asked for on my first attempt at the fast, I didn't get none of it. I didn't get a damn thing. So I'm cool with it because I know why I didn't receive it, because I didn't complete my end of the deal. So I presented God with a tall task. I think it was a tall task, but the tallest task I've ever asked of God was to heal Kiki. She had a condition with the belly. She didn't think she could get pregnant. And boom, we did a 3-day fast. She did a 3-day. I went into my 5-day fast. After the 5-day fast, we are pregnant. Jam. And I knew it was a boy instantly because I told her she was going to have my son a year ago in the month of December. 2022. And no one believed us. And I was so confident that we did it on live. And I told everybody was having a boy, and do not call our son a girl. Don't give us an idea of that we may get a girl, because that's not the idea that we've gifted to God. So God already told us that we're having a son. So just because it's not confirmed on this realm of understanding, hey, don't try to project your energy onto us. And of course, we're having a boy, right? Duh, we already knew we were having a boy. So yay. So I was like, I've already asked for something so great that, man, you gotta just trust after something like that, right? She's healed. We having a baby boy. The word of our year is trust. I'm like, I can't really go wrong with asking for anything, because I can't have any doubt now, because you've already done things to the magnitude that people won't even believe us. They try to find a reason to wrap their head around what we say and our beliefs. And they're like, well, probably because of this. Well, you having a boy, 50-50 chance and all that. You know, they'll make up any type of excuse to appease their thoughts. But like I say, I know for sure. Living evidence right here. So I say, God, this is what I want. And I said, I don't want all this for me. I started adding people to my list. My mother, my brother, my uncle, and at the end, I added my boy Cliff, right? I'm going to do a special one for Cliff. I want to do something special for Cliff. My 20-day, I think I'm going to dedicate to Cliff. That's what I want. I've been thinking about that. It's been on my mind. So my 20-day fast in the month of January, I'm declaring it right now so I can't back out. I'm dedicating my 20-day fast asking God to give my boy Cliff a heart. He's in need of a heart transplant. So my ask of God is to give him a heart next year, and I'm going to fast for that. So my 20-day fast is dedicated to you, Cliff. I love you, bro. Jam. All right, so